Carla Knits Podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes crocheting, but always all of the yarny goodness that I love. Today is Thursday, October 19th. This is episode 85, and I'm coming to you from my home in Nebraska. So hello, returning viewers and subscribers. I'm so happy to chat today about all that I've been up to the last couple weeks. And if you're new, hello and welcome. Other places you can find me besides YouTube, I am cbcraftygirl on Instagram and Ravelry. And on Ravelry, we do have a group for the Carla Knits Podcast. And we currently have 2 year-long make-alongs going on. So the first I will highlight is our blanket make-along. So this could be blankets that you started prior to the year. Some may have been started many years ago. They could be scrappy blankets. They could be new cast-ons or new crochet blankets as of this year. So there is one general thread for chatter and for finished objects. So a couple that I want to highlight in this episode. One is by Ravelry user Textile Grad. That is Luann, and she made the crochet rainbow ripple baby blanket. And I thought that turned out really, really pretty. And then the second blanket is by Ravelry user STL Red Hot Knitter, which is a great Ravelry name. And that is Riola. And she knit the chevron baby blanket. And I thought this was really interesting because she had a baby book in the photo. And so she likes to coordinate. I'm understanding that she likes to knit blankets and coordinate with a book. So for the particular book that she had there, she knit the colors in the blanket according to how they came up in the book. So I thought that was a really, really neat idea. All right, and then the Love Your Stash make-along is a year-long make-along using up your stash. Mostly yarn here, but it could be fabric stash or it could be other things, but this is mainly a knitting community, I suppose. So lots of us have lots of yarn in our stash. So using those beautiful yarns that may have been hibernating or marinating in our stash for a while. So a couple that I want to highlight. One is by Yarn Girl 67. That is Lisa, and she posted Scrappy Halloween socks, which I thought were really fun. She's actually started those last year and completed them this year, so I bet it feels really good to get those done. And then Karn Z, who is Leslie, made a lightweight hipster. That's a shawl by Joji Locatelli, and I thought that was beautiful. And her styling of her photo was just lovely too. So those are some new ones that I wanted to highlight. I mentioned last time that in this make-along, I draw quarterly prizes, and October kind of snuck up on me. So I have needed to draw winners from both the chatter thread and the finished object thread in the Love Your Stash mail for the, July, August, September quarter. So actually right after I podcast the last time I did that. So I was using like the first date in July, the first post in July through the last post in September for both chatter and for finished object thread. So I hope I'm making sense. In the chatter thread, the posts were 250 through 295. That was, again, July through September. And I did a random number generator, and it picked Amy Has Time. So Amy, congratulations. So that was in the chatter thread. And then in the finished object post, again, July, first post in July through the last post in September, the numbers were 433 through 626, and random number generator picked 463, who is Ravelry user Mystery Sewer, and that is Sandy. So Amy and Sandy, congratulations. And if you would like to message me on Ravelry, I will gift you a pattern prize up to US $10, a pattern prize of up to US of up to $10 US. I think that makes sense now. So congratulations, ladies, and congratulations to all of us, all of you who are working through your stash and making such beautiful, beautiful things. It definitely is inspirational and so fun to see what you all are making. So speaking of the make-alongs, they are all linked in the show notes down below. If you're new and you think you might want to join us, everything I talk about is down there, including links to those make-alongs. All right. So we're going to get into the knitting now. So I'll first share what I am wearing. It's a little warm for knitwear, but I thought I would throw something on. This is the Changing Staircases shawl by Dragon Hoard Yarn Designs, or Dragon Hoard Designs. That's Tristan Molina, also the dyer of Dragon Hoard Yarn. This is a fingering weight shawl, 1 skein. I have made 2 of these. This is a great 1 skein shawl pattern, really fun. And the yarn I used is by Voolenvine, and any of you who know Voolenvine, this is a pretty unusual color, I think, for Voolenvine yarn. But this was a collab she did with someone else, where each dyer did a skein, and this was hers. And this is Reef Madness, and I just love the bright kind of almost neon greens and those bright pops of purples and blues. So this is really, really fun. So that is a great pattern. I believe it is a free pattern on Ravelry. So, you know, lots of us have, you know, special skeins in our stash. And I'm so thankful that there are more, you know, shawls coming out now that highlight those special skeins that you can just use, you know, a special skein for. I think that's great. So Changing Staircases. All right, I have 2 finished objects for today. The first is, let's see, the Flying Geese Hat. This is a pattern by Darcy of Chit Knits. And this is one of her newer releases within the last few weeks. Darcy puts out patterns very frequently, but this one came out not too long ago. And Darcy is hosting a Warm Ears make-along in her Ravelry group and on Instagram, and so I wanted to participate. So I made her one of her newest designs, again, Flying Geese Hat. And I told Darcy this was fun because my husband Jeff and I sail, and we see the birds flying, especially, you know, in the fall, and it was fun to be seeing that at the lake and knitting on this hat at the same time. The yarn is by Sorella, and it's a worsted weight in the Sugar Mountain colorway. And I believe Darcy's pattern calls for a DK or light worsted, but it's basically kind of a ribbed pattern, so very stretchy. I will put it on. Let's see how I do putting it on, and see if you can see all the detail on the hat. So I think that turned out really pretty. It's probably going to be a gift of some sort for someone, but I haven't decided yet. I really enjoy making Darcy's hats. And just an aside, we had a really cold morning this past weekend, and I did wear another of your hats, Darcy's. It was, oh my goodness, Wavy Legs. It was Wavy Legs. That is one of my favorites. So if you are really into hat making, Darcy of Chit Knits has a bunch of great patterns. They are really fun to make. This is maybe my fourth or fifth hat that I've made of Darcy's from her different patterns. So I couldn't recommend them more, and she's got some more that'll be coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. But that is the Flying Geese hat. All right, I'm going to take a break. I will be right back. All right, the other finished object I have is a pair of socks that I knit my sister-in-law Patty for Christmas. And here they are. She asked for a pretty neutral yarn, and so I found this in my stash. This yarn is Patton's Croy FX, and it says it's a fingering weight yarn, but it's a very heavy fingering weight yarn. The colorway is Seashell Colors, and I will hold one of these up, and I don't know if it'll pick it up really well, but there are creams and tans and grays and just the slightest pale blue green in there. So it actually has a lot more going on to the yarn than I saw in the skein when I bought it. I just thought it was a pretty basic neutral, but it's a really pretty neutral. So I said it's a really thick fingering weight. I knit this on a US 1, and in hindsight I definitely should have gone up to a 1.5 or a 2, because it kind of felt like I was knitting armor. It was definitely stiffer and harder on my fingers. But I tried them on, and they are just wonderful socks. They feel so good. Yeah, they are just the coziest and warmest socks. So she lives in Canada, so hopefully some colder, well, I don't want to wish her really cold winters, but I think this will be really nice on a cold winter's day to snuggle up in these socks. So very happy to have another Christmas gift done. So that is my last finished object, and it seems funny to me today. These are both pretty neutral colors. Normally I'm more like the bright colors, but to have two pretty neutral finished objects I thought was kind of different for me, but very lovely projects, and really happy to have them completed. So a number of whips to share with you. As soon as I finished the socks, those neutral socks, I wanted to pick up a sock whip that has been languishing since mid-July. And here is where I am. I didn't put too much, but I did work one evening for a couple hours on this sock. This is the Harvest sock by Carly Perrins. It is the pattern comes with 3 sock designs, and I think what's interesting is that she sells patterns that are cuff down and toe up, so I think that's really great. This is a cuff down pattern, and this collection was gifted to me by a viewer of this podcast, so thank you. I really love this. I think it is so pretty. The yarn, this top one is Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering in the graffiti speckle colorway. And then this gorgeous pinkish color was a birthday present from my knitting birthday buddy, Candy. And this is Knit Picks Stroll in the, what is the color? Summer Blooms Tonal. Yeah. So it was really nice this week to go ahead and pick this up again. It looks like a cable, but you are not using a cable needle. It's just twisted stitches. So it's really easy. It's really memorizable. And I'm so happy to be getting back to working on this sock. All right, moving right along. This, I had said last episode that I wanted to get back to this. So this is the Betangled Chalette. This is a pattern by Jennifer Weissman. This pattern was gifted to me by my friend Lois, and she she and I both have the pattern. We both went to the yarn store and picked out yarn together, and she has finished her chalette. So I'm going to pop a picture. I told her I was going to do that. I took a picture of her when we were at knitting, and I said I was going to pop it in the podcast. So you can see Lois wearing her finished betangled chalette. This was really nice to get back to also. I haven't worked on it, excuse me, a whole lot, but a few days I did, like a half hour every day for a little while, and there might have been another day where I put a little bit more time, but not every day, certainly over the last 2 weeks, but maybe 4 days of doing like a half hour or so. You can see where I was the last time, and obviously by seeing Lois's picture, you can see that I have a long way to go, but that is okay. The yarn that I'm using, I am working through that first skein still. This is Rowan Felted Tweed, and last time I couldn't remember the colorway. Such an unusual colorway for me, but this is in the French Mustard colorway. So I think it's a great color for fall. So it's a lot of garter stitch. There's a kind of a mini cable, and then there is this big cable. And you don't have to cable too often. It might be every 15 rows or some 12 rows, 15 rows. I could be wrong. But when you do cable, it's a lot. It's a 12 by 12 cable. So it is a little fiddly. It is a little bit fiddly to work with. But Lois lent me a very short double pointed needle. So that seems to work much better for that. But yeah, luckily it doesn't come up too often, and the rest of the rows go by really quickly. So progress on that. Those needles are clacking. I have 2 sweaters that I shared that I had started last time. I've seen so many fall videos, fall inspiration videos with, you know, all the sweaters that people want to make, or maybe sweaters and accessories. And I would love to just, I mean, there are so many things I want to make, so many things I dream about making. But I think if I sat down and did that, I would just want to make everything, and then I would feel guilty that I wasn't putting enough time into each thing. So I have 2 sweaters right now going, and I might do a third one too. I don't know, we'll see. But I mean, I guess this is my fall knitting plans here, is to work on some sweaters. So the first is the Love Note sweater, which started with a provisional cast on. I'm not in a really good way to show it right now. So this is actually the neckline, which will be picked up later to work the ribbing. Oh, it smells so good. I use the Tuft Woolens hand balm and the chai spice, and oh, that's my absolute favorite. So if my projects smell like that, I love it. All right, so the yarns I'm using are, let me just show you because I think it looks different when they are together, but separately, this is the Conifer Collective in the Desert Cardinal colorway, combined with Up North yarns in the, oh, I had it. Oh, where did it go? Midnight at the Oasis colorway, and we talked about this the last 2 times. So those 2 combined together. So 2 fingering weights basically for the Love Note sweater. I am using a US 10. The last time I made this sweater, I did a US 9. So I'm going up to a 10, and I also went up a size. I think the last time I made a large, and this time I am making the, I think it's categorized as extra large, extra large. So just gonna see if I like a little, I'm hoping it's gonna be a little bit looser fit than my last one, although I think it fits nicely. It's a little more fitted than maybe I would like. So I'm hoping this one will have a little bit more ease, but of course I'm also concerned about yarn management. I just have 2 skeins of each, so we'll see how far it gets. But I really do like this color for fall. Yeah, this eggplant purple is just really pretty. So I am working still through the lace section, so hopefully you can see that. Yeah, really enjoying that. So that has gotten a little bit of attention. Probably the next, so I don't know if I said Love Note by Tin Can Knits. The next sweater is a crochet project, which I have not done a crochet garment in a while. I stuck it on a hanger so maybe you can see it a little better, and clipped it at the top so it wouldn't fall off. This is the Parker cardigan by Amber Zumbrin, also known as Heartfully Stitched. She has a number of beautiful crochet sweater and cardigan patterns, and this one just really spoke to me. I don't know if you can see this section. Oops, and I'm pulling some out there. Better not pull too much out. Some really pretty detail in the body of the sweater. So I was up here last time, so I have made some really good progress over the last couple weeks on this. Being a darker yarn, it is a little harder to see at nighttime. Yeah, so both the Love Note, yeah, that was good planning. Both the Love Note and the Parker cardigan, darker yarns, so much easier to work on during the day when I don't have as much time. But that's okay. I sneak a row or 2 in here and there. So the yarn that I am using is Lion Brand Touch of Alpaca in the crimson color, and I really do love this deep burgundy color. Yeah, I think that is so pretty. I think that will be, I hope it will be a nice addition to my wardrobe. I know crochet is not nearly as drapey as knit fabric, but I'm still hoping that this will be a really nice, snuggly, warm cardigan for this upcoming fall winter season. So that is the Parker cardigan. The last project that I want to show is kind of a new project that I started. We have the 12 skeins of Christmas mini skein swap that has gone on in our group for 3 years. And last year I had a wonderful swap partner, Peggy. Hello, Peggy, if you're watching. And I never did anything with those minis. I just had them in a bag here and didn't do anything with them. And I debated about, do I want to do socks? And then I have been watching Knitting Natty, and I've followed her journey of going through her scraps, and I thought, well, I really am enjoying the crochet cardigan, so why don't I do some crochet granny squares and make a crochet granny square blanket? Not that I need another big project or a Scrappy project, but I am going to, and I have just enjoyed making these squares so much. So I'm going to share the squares that I've crocheted. I am using Knitting Natty's pattern on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. So that, and I will probably block these later, but here is that. And you know I like this one because it's pink. I think that's really pretty. And this blue is very vibrant. I really like that too. And this one just reminds me of like oranges and Florida and orange juice. I think that's really pretty. And then I love this speckled one. And then the last one I have is also very pretty. This reminds me of just a pretty fall yarn with some grays and purple wine colors and some greens in there. Just really pretty. So I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I have made 7 granny squares so far. I am currently working through the 8th one. So I'm really using your yarn now, Peggy, and I'm so happy to be using it. This project has been so fun to do, like a couple squares in an evening. I really have enjoyed that. This has been my, take to work project in case a student doesn't show up, then I can, do a little time on my granny squares. With the remainders, I am dividing them into 2 separate packages. So I approximately have about, I would say between 3.5 to 4 grams left of each. So then I'm dividing each of these, and then I'm putting them, separately into baggies. And I'm planning to probably make some scrappy socks with the leftovers. So I am planning to do this granny crochet project with some Advent swap minis that I have coming this year. This seems like a really fun, manageable project for December to work on these granny squares. And I think at some point I'm probably going to have to reevaluate all of the blankets I have going on. But right now I am very, very excited to have this crochet granny square blanket started. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to border it with a neutral yarn and then join each square. So, or do a neutral square between squares. So I haven't completely figured out what I'm going to do, but really, really fun project. So that is what I have been up to the last couple of weeks. I would love to hear what you are working on. Are you, do you have fall sweaters on the needles? Are you working on finishing projects? I feel like I'm in a good place. I am really enjoying all of my projects. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying all of my projects. And of course, I'm always excited to cast on new ones. So just a little bit with dream knitting. I have a couple things that are really speaking to me right now. So I'm going to share them. And one is a garment. So this might be completely crazy. We will see. I might have to talk myself down from this one, but it is the Pike Stout Poncho by Thea Coleman. And I'll insert a picture here. So this beautiful cabled poncho, which kind of has arms. Yeah, which does have arms. I'm not entirely excited about the poncho because I know when you lift your arms up, then the whole poncho comes up with you. But if I make it long enough, like not super crazy long, but if I make it long enough, that's probably going to be okay. But I just keep going back to this pattern several times. I just love the cable detail on there. And I guess I just think of cables with fall and winter. It just seems really fun. Yeah, fun and cozy. The other thing also is cable socks. Both of these patterns are by This Yellow Farmhouse. These are worsted weight socks, so they should knit up pretty quickly, theoretically. One is the Pumpkin Patch Cable Socks, and the other pattern is Country Cabin Socks. So a couple different cable sock patterns that I am looking at. I've made so many fingering weight socks, not so many, but I've made several fingering weight gift socks that I'm kind of itching to put a bigger yarn sock on the needles. So either a DK weight sock, which I probably will. Oh, I think I have some fuzz. So either DK weight socks, which I probably will still cast on a pair of DK weight socks for a gift. One more gift, I think one more gift knit for Christmas. And then also the cable socks. things that I'm definitely interested in. So do you have any dream projects out there or things that you are just dying to cast on? It is so hard. I know I tell myself I should stop scrolling Instagram because I'm always so inspired by new projects and new patterns that come out, and they come out so fast, and there's no way that I can knit that fast and knit all the things, but I really want to knit all the things. I just need more time in my day. But I would love to hear what you're working on. If you have any fall knitting plans. I know we're well underway in fall. We are just about a month into fall, but the weather is just turning here. I feel like we're finally getting fall weather. The mornings have been cool. We've been still up in the 70s, but it definitely feels more like fall. So I am loving that. This is my favorite time of the year. So I hope it will last for a while. Just a little bit of chatter. Again, the days and weeks just seem to fly by between work and taking care of my house, which I should probably do better. But if I have the choice after work of cleaning or sitting down for a little while with my knitting, that knitting always wins. It's just a great way to relax after work. So lots of knitting time. I mentioned that my husband and I do sail, and we got the sailboat out of the water this past weekend, and we have the sailboat all cleaned up. It is still sitting in our driveway. We have just a little bit more work to do on it, and then we will take it to be put in storage for the winter. So that really was our big focus over the last few days. We got to spend some time with our daughter. She came home for part of her fall break, so that was really nice having our daughter Jenna home. Yeah, I think that's probably all to share. We had a choir concert for her tonight. I have line dancing. I have really loved that. Tonight will probably be my last line dancing night. I know next week is, but I think we have another concert for Jenna. So I have absolutely loved line dancing. So looking forward to when they offer it again next winter or in the spring after Christmas or after the New Year. So I feel like I'm just rambling, so I probably better wrap this up. But I hope that you are all well. Oh, one more thing. I have been holding Zooms, just a quick little Zoom meetup every Thursday for the last few Thursdays. And there's always usually 5 to 6 of us, which is a really nice amount, just to catch up a little bit, share what we're working on. That's been really fun. So hello to those of you. Thank you for those of you who have been participating. I hope it has brought you some as much enjoyment in your week as it has to me. It's just a real nice fun pick-me-up meeting with knitting friends. So if you'd like to join, I have information posted in the Ravelry group. If you'd like to know directly, you can always tell me, ask me to message you on Instagram. I can do that as well. So with that, I will close for now. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you are knitting and crocheting up a storm. And until next time, take care. See you soon.